Hello everyone, this is my introduction video to AEP 800 Innovative Technology Integration. I obviously know it's a little late seeing as tonight's the last night to do the assignments. I've actually had the presentation finished for a long time, but my webcam doesn't work, and so I've been having to wait on my sister to get back from vacation to use her laptop to record my videos. So, about me, I graduated from Middle Tennessee State University in December of 2018. A bachelor's degree in business education. Um, I just finished my first semester of teaching at Colbert County High School, so I graduated in December and was lucky enough to get a job in January. I'm a business teacher. I teach career prep, marketing classes, business technology application, things like that. And so this upcoming school year, I'm actually going to get the chance to coach eighth grade boys basketball as well. And I'm 24 years old, and I'm pursuing a master's in instructional technology. The impact of technology, I think it's changed how teachers need to deliver instruction, and it's kind of changed how students want to receive it and how they learn. I think that's pretty obvious when you get into a classroom that has technology, is that students kind of expect a different way to get their instruction, and so teachers have to keep up with that and cater to that. The implications of technology um, are the implications technology can have on education are seemingly endless. Technology is ever changing. It's becoming a huge part of our world. And so in the education field, we kind of have to evolve and keep up with that and equip our students to live in a world where technology is growing. The influence it can have on education, I look at how much technology has influenced our world. We think about in just the past, 5, 10, 15 years, how technology has changed how we do everyday things, how we shop, how we get entertainment, how we travel. If it's influenced our world that much, it's has no choice but to also influence the way we educate students. And so I think that's the influence it has is it influences our world, so it influences our education. But a positive of that is teachers have more resources than ever. I know me personally, my first semester of teaching, I didn't use a textbook. Um, Everything that I taught was free resources online that I was able to find just by using the internet. The impact on classroom instruction, I think it's completely changed classroom instruction. It's changed how teachers are expected to deliver classroom instruction. I think students are more in control of their learning. I know at our school, and I'm sure other schools, there are high school classes that students can take that are solely technology based. It may be a self-paced course that they do on a computer every day or online. All of us in this class, I assume, we're online learners, and getting a master's degree online, and that's something that years ago would I imagine wouldn't have been even been thought of. The teacher is no longer the only source of information in the classroom. This one is a big one to me because for so many years, whatever the teacher said, kind of that's what it was. And now, students can find an answer to any question with just a touch of the touch of the keyboard, and they've got an answer within 5-10 seconds on Google. And so students are able to do that, and they can kind of think and learn for themselves in a sense, and they don't have to just take what the teacher says as fact, and they can kind of work on their own in a sense. Um, the resources available to teachers and students is always increasing. Every year, there's some resource that a teacher finds, or maybe even students can use that is this great program. We have whole curriculums online now, and that's something that even when I was in college that I never thought about having. But whole classes for a whole school year can be found online for free, and even more detailed things can be bought. The impact on student achievement, kind of like I mentioned in the last slide, the students can kind of take responsibility for some of their work because so much of it can be done on their own, and they have the capability of doing that, so they kind of have the responsibility of proving what they can do with that and actually having to do something. Teachers don't just teach their content; they have to teach technology and digital citizenship. If you have that technology in your classroom, you can't just give it to the students and expect it to be used appropriately and correctly. Teachers have to spend time teaching how to use the technology so that the technology can best serve the students. And so I feel like teachers of any class, if it involves technology, we're having to constantly teach that technology and teach students what it means to be a digital citizen. And then more technology can, obviously have a negative impact as well. I'm sure a lot of people can attest to that. With all the technology, even though it can be a great thing, it can also be a really huge distraction for students that struggle to pay attention anyways. Now they have, social media, Snapchat, Instagram, things like that are just a touch away. Impact on school improvement. Schools don't just have to worry about test scores anymore or graduation rates. They have to worry about trying to become a one-to-one school, looking at what type of technology integration they have, how often they're, integrating it, how they're doing with it. And so that's things that, principals and schools didn't have to answer to years ago, but now it's something that's expected, just like good test scores are. Districts, administrators want to know how you're integrating technology. But what this means is when it is implemented correctly and in a good way, then schools can see growth like they couldn't imagine. I mean, things can grow exponentially when it's actually used, in the right way. My personal use of technology, this past semester, I used a ton of different resources. I didn't feel like I'd really mastered any, but I just kind of experimented with a lot. I hope to find a few that I like. But this last semester, I used a ton of suggestions that other teachers gave me and things like that. A struggle I had was I spent a lot of time and effort um, using technology, and sometimes the technology became more important than the content, and that's not something I want to continue. I was so focused on using it that oftentimes I would spend so much time explaining it and fixing it, or trying to use it, that I wouldn't have a backup plan, and we would spend half the class working on technology instead of the actual content. And so my goal is to find a select number of resources and stick to them. Find two or three programs, resources, websites that I really like, and kind of really use them, and try not to focus on the other things. My plans to improve is spend more time planning on how I want to integrate technology, be intentional in that, and have an actual reason for using it, not just using it because I feel like I have to. Consult other teachers, figure out what works for them, what hasn't worked for them. Still maybe try it, but if a teacher suggests it that I trust, then that's something I might try. And that same thing, if a teacher that I trust says that they've tried it and multiple times and it doesn't work, then maybe I don't put as much time into that. And use technology as a learning tool, not a toy. Sometimes I think students can see computers, iPads as a game because that's what they see it as in their home life. And so sometimes it's a hard switch to get them to not look at it as a toy or a reward. I know when you allow students to get on the computer always as a reward, then when you want them to actually use it as a learning tool, it's difficult for them to flip that switch and look at it as a tool and not a toy. The impact of funding, I got super lucky in the school system that I came into. The students in my class specifically would be one-to-one with desktop computers. I have iPads available. I have Chromebooks available. I have GoPros to use for my marketing class, camera, video camera. I have tons of technology to use, and so that's a great thing that I'm super lucky to have. I don't always know how to use it all, but I have it at my disposal. I think the biggest need for schools is training teachers appropriately. I know a lot of schools in my area, at least in Alabama, have one-to-one or close to one-to-one. They may have cards or things like that, but when students need, the Chromebooks, they have them available. And I think the biggest issue now is just training teachers on how to use it effectively and them not just using it because their administrator told them to. And so that's all I've got. Thank you for listening. I would say I hope you have a great semester, but this is the end of it. So I hope everyone has had a great time in this class. Thank you.